If you're looking for a budget-friendly cruise, Margaritaville at Sea Islander is definitely a contender, but this ship is certainly not for everyone. So before you put down that deposit, we put together this video review of what we loved and hated about the ship. That way you can decide if a cruise on Margaritaville Islander is right for you. Up next. Welcome aboard, cruisers. I'm Don B from Eat, Sleep, Cruise, and of course, welcome back to our Eat, Sleep, Cruise subscribers. If you are one of those subscribers, then you probably know that Heidi and I consider ourselves pretty traditional cruisers, which means a pretty predictable routine each night, with dinner in the main dining room, enjoying one of those 3-course meals, and then a show. And if that's you, then Margaritaville at Sea Islander might let you down, as the main dining room falls short when compared to contemporary cruise lines. This is actually a critique we had of the cruise line's first ship, Paradise, and while the cruise line has made some improvements and changes to the main dining room, overall it still does not compare to other budget-friendly cruise lines like Carnival Cruise Line. For our cruise, the Finn's dining room served sit-down breakfast and dinner daily, but there was no sea day lunch. For breakfast, Margaritaville at Sea Islander offered omelets, eggs Benedict, pancakes, and French toast. At night, dinner is open seating from 5:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. Like most major cruise lines, the menu rotates each evening. However, there are no standard items, like a steak or a chicken, although there was at least one vegetarian dish on the menu each night. Given its open seating, there are no set dinner times, and guests cannot pre-make reservations. This resulted in long wait times. The few times we tried to get a table, we were told it was between 40 and 45 minutes to wait for a table of 2. So we opted to eat at the Islander dining room on deck 3. This restaurant is reserved for suite guests, but other guests can pay $20 a person to dine here as well. For those with a dining package, one dinner at Islander is included. Besides some linens on the table, the menu is mostly the same in the two restaurants. The Islander menu does include 3 upgraded starters, 2 unique entrees, and 1 dessert each evening, in addition to the selections on the Finn's menu. We wouldn't say anything in the main dining room wowed us. The gumbo and flat iron steak on night 4 were well prepared with plenty of flavor. Night 5 featured a braised short rib and stir-fried rice, which were also among the better options we sampled. I also enjoyed the bread pudding dessert and the cruise line signature pina colada lush dessert. However, most other dishes were either on par or subpar when compared to other cruise lines. Most dishes were also served lukewarm at best. Overall, the main dining room food fell short for us when compared to the competition. Even the upgraded Islander menus didn't include lobster or anything of that sort. Plus, guests are only allowed 1 entree, with each additional entree an extra $7 each. The one saving grace was the service. From breakfast to dinner, the service teams were mostly friendly and fast, especially when we were seated in iMate section. We never waited long for a server to take our order, and the pacing of our meals was also efficient. And while the main dining room did let us down, what did surprise us was the signature entertainment. Even though Heidi nor I are big Jimmy Buffett fans, we did really enjoy the signature production show on the cruise line's first ship. So unlike the main dining room, we actually had high expectations for the signature production shows on Islander, and this time around, the cruise line did not disappoint. While both were your typical cruise review shows, the productions in the Stars on the Water Theater were fast-paced, the set lists were spot on, and the cast were a talented group of singers, dancers, and aerialists. Night 3 was Coastal Country Elegance Night. Many fellow cruisers donned their cowboy boots and line danced their way to the theater for Conky Tonkin at Sea. While neither of us liked country music, this 45-minute show had a set list of pop country songs that even Heidi and I recognized. So like most of the crowd, we sang along and stomped our feet to favorites from artists like Garth Brooks, Johnny Cash, Shania Twain, and more. The stage was more advanced than we expected for a ship of this age, giving the show added range and dimension. While not a Royal Caribbean signature production, the show was better than many cruise shows we've seen over the recent years. On the final night of the cruise, we settled into the slightly more cheesy Caribbean Heat remix. At least this time, we had the right outfits, as tonight's dress was tropical resort wear. In this review show, we traveled to several Caribbean destinations, featuring music and artists from these locales. With popular pop and dance tunes from the likes of Pitbull, Rihanna, Bob Marley, and even Ricky Martin, the show and set pieces went from one high-energy number to the next. Again, utilizing the aerialists and stage design to their fullest, this show was a fitting end to our cruise, though we did prefer Conky Tonkin at sea more. Even though the ship was near double occupancy, there was only one nightly show at 9:30 p.m. for these signature productions. One drawback is definitely the theater design. The 3-deck theater offers lounge-style seating on deck 2 and stadium-style seats on decks 3 and 4, but the sightlines weren't ideal. So, to ensure we had our preferred seats, we did arrive around 40 minutes before showtime. In addition to the 2 production shows, there was a variety show on night 1 of the cruise, which is your typical welcome aboard show. On the other 2 days, there were headliner acts, which consisted of a mediocre comedian and a pretty repetitive magician duo. If there's one thing the Margaritaville brand is known for, it's drinks. So we're happy to report the bars on Islander are certainly the hub of activity. Across the ship, most of the bars have a signature cocktail menu. In fact, each bar even has an exclusive margarita that is only available at that location. Among our favorite drinks were the Watermelon Daiquiri and Big Guava Margarita at Havana Daydreamin'. This sports bar had a weird layout and vibe though. Since it was previously a cafe, it maintained that similar feel, only with the addition of Cuban decor and some random televisions. Another popular venue for drinks and music was a Hemisphere Dancer. The smoky Mile High was on par with signature cocktails at the high-end cocktail bars on competitor cruise lines. The Bubbles Up bars, flavored spritz, and French 75 were some of the more refreshing drinks on the ship as well. Other indoor bars included the Pacific-themed Far Side of the World. There's also the main atrium bar, the Flip Flop bar, with classic cocktails like an old fashioned. Even the casino bar has its own signature drink menu, as does the aquarium-themed Coral Lounge. Additionally, each themed pool had its own themed bar. Of course, the 5 o'clock somewhere bar is the chief margarita and boat drinks bar on the ship. Here, cruisers can get something strong and tall, like the Pink Cadillac or Uptown Shelf margaritas. The Landshark bar serves frozen cocktails, along with poolside favorites like a Sunset Sangria, as well as beer and even shots. The outdoor bar we frequented the most was the Tiki bar. This bar features cruiser favorites such as a Mai Tai or a Rum Runner, and the most seats in the shade of any outdoor bar. Not to mention, there weren't any little kids running around this adults-only area. Unlike its sister ship, Margaritaville at Sea Islander does have a drink package. On board, the package costs $59.99 a day, plus an 18% gratuity. Guests can save 10% purchasing the drink package pre-cruise. With most cocktails and drinks being around $12 to $15, all it takes is about 5 to 6 drinks a day to make the package worth it. While bottled water and soda are included, other premium non-alcoholic drinks like Red Bull or Gatorade are not. Also, specialty coffees are not part of the drink package. Like Carnival Cruise Line, there is a max of 15 alcoholic drinks a day, but a drink package is a no-brainer if you're sailing on this ship. Along with the variety of bars, another aspect of Margaritaville at Sea Islander that will appeal to cruisers looking for a more casual cruise is the pool deck. The 5 o'clock somewhere pool and the Landshark pool received some minor upgrades, but they made quite a difference. Some new tables and chairs, art, palm trees, and a few coats of paint breathed new life into this 25-year-old pool deck. Various loungers, tables, and some day beds are available next to these pools, though we would have expected more. The pools and nearby hot tubs were definitely popular places to be on the hot sea days. Our sailing was at about 90% of double occupancy, yet it was never an issue getting a lounger on the deck 10 sun deck, which is one deck above the main pool deck. Aft on deck 9 is the Tiki pool and Tiki bar. This is an adults only area. We liked the large and shaded bar in this area, but felt the space overall received only a minor facelift. There were a couple of cabana style huts, one hammock, 3 day beds, and some lounge chairs. Given its size though, this aft pool and sun deck could have used more fun and funky furniture to go with the island themes of the bar and nearby upcharge eateries. With many on board embracing the no shirt, no shoes, no problem mindset of Margaritaville, the pool decks were a lively and fun place throughout the entire cruise. With a variety of poolside music, fins up crew activities, and plenty of margaritas, the vibe on the outdoor decks would make any parrot head proud. Like the first ship in the Margaritaville at Sea fleet, the staterooms on Margaritaville at Sea Islander are fresh and upbeat. The bright color palette, new furniture, and fun accents gave the cabin a beachy glow. Our balcony cabin, Stateroom 7175, was an extended balcony cabin on the starboard side, forward of the midship bank of elevators. This stateroom had plenty of space and storage for the two of us. Its layout ensured we had a comfortable stay during our 5-day cruise. Immediately upon entering the room, our closet was on the left and the bathroom was on the right. Inside, the cabin had a refinished desk vanity setup with some drawers, the mini fridge and television, along with 3 small closets that featured a series of shelves and clothes bars with hangers and a seating area. Nautically inspired lamps, shoreline art, and funky accents certainly put us on Islander time. The ship is 25 years old, so the desk only had one 220 volt and 110 volt outlet. However, the new lamps on each side of the bed contained a USB-A and a USB-C connection. Thus, we were able to charge multiple devices overnight without any issues. After a long day ashore, we had no problems falling asleep on the deluxe Margaritaville bedding and mattress. The balcony was quite large, with more than enough space for the 2 chairs and table. It was our place to enjoy the views away from the crowds of the pool deck. Of all the updates in the room, the bathroom seemed to have the fewest improvements. Still, it offered adequate storage, liquid hand soap, and premium bath products in the shower. We would have liked a shower door instead of the branded shower curtain, yet it was still a vast improvement over the Margaritaville at Sea Paradise cabin bathrooms. In keeping with the laid-back and relaxed vibe, Islander offers several complimentary casual dining options, with some of them being among the best at sea. Near the 5 o'clock somewhere pool is the Mexican Cutie Cantina. This taco stand is open for breakfast most days from around 8 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. Morning options include a bowl or burrito with Mexican eggs and a choice of breakfast meats, potatoes, and accompaniments. Likewise, guests could choose from 3 different meat options when building a custom bowl or tacos at lunch. The nearby salsa bar had additional toppings for spicing things up. While not the best Tex-Mex at sea, this was a good quick service option that didn't cost extra, and I would say it was better than El Loco Fresh on Royal Caribbean, but probably not up to the standards of Carnival's Blue Iguana Cantina. A better offering though was a cheeseburger in Paradise, also nearby the 5 o'clock somewhere pool. Open most days from noon to 6 p.m., the freshly made burgers here rival the fast food equivalent of Guy's Burger Joint on Carnival. While there are no signature burgers, there are staple toppings and the Islander sauce. Along with a few more additional customizations at the toppings bar, it's easy to craft your own unique creation. While the burgers were definitely a standout, we can say the same for the pizza slices at Frank and Lola's. Churning out pizzas from about noon to 2 a.m. every day, this pizza too rivals some of the best pizza at sea, including Princess Cruises and Virgin Voyages pizza. We just wish it wasn't in the Port of Indecision buffet. We missed having a separate pizza parlor like Margaritaville at Sea Paradise. Finally, the Port of Indecision buffet is open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Given our aversion to buffets in general, and the offerings, we didn't need to try the buffet. To be honest, none of the selections looked all that appetizing. My few passes for breakfast looked like the buffet had pretty typical offerings. There was a salad bar, a daily soup offering, and rotating entrees for lunch. Most days, there was at least one chicken, fish, and beef main course with some side dishes. Overall, the buffet was small and underwhelming when compared to other cruise lines. Specialty dining on Islander was also hit or miss. As we mentioned earlier, technically the Islander restaurant on Deck 3 is a specialty restaurant for most guests, because there's that $20 upcharge unless you're staying in a suite. While the service in the restaurant was good, the food here is definitely not worth the cover charge in our opinion. In addition to nightly dinner, the Islander dining room also offers a sparkling wine brunch on the 2 sea days. For $15 a person, this brunch includes a morning mimosa and an extensive menu with breakfast and lunch items. One brunch is also included in that dining package. This menu features breakfast items like chicken and waffles, steak and eggs, and overnight French toast. In addition, guests can choose from lunch items like penne alla vodka or a bubbles up burger. We enjoyed the brunch and would probably pay the upcharge again. The other only sit-down specialty restaurant is the JWB Prime Steakhouse. This restaurant requires reservations that can be made as soon as you board the ship. We dined here on night 2, and our experience also was hit or miss. The braised pork belly was perhaps the best starter I had all week. My medium rare filet was perfectly seasoned and cooked to my ideal temperature. Plus, the banana cream pie and key lime pie desserts were sweet endings to this meal. However, the burrata, appetizer, and all the side dishes we sampled were not good. Further, if you like a lobster tail or a surf and turf, this will cost you an extra $24 on top of the already high $55 upcharge to dine here. After our experience dining at JWB on Islander, we would probably not return, which is a disappointment as we actually enjoyed our meal at the JWB on Paradise. The rest of the specialty dining on Margaritaville at sea is casual fare. With the dining package, cruisers get a $25 credit to each of these 3 venues. So we sample food from 2 of the 3 eateries. I'm usually opposed to paying for casual dining while on a cruise, although for this review, we wanted to try the offerings. And I was glad I did. Honestly, this food was among some of the best food on the ship. The buffalo wings were a crispy and spicy poolside snack available at the Tiki Grill. The conch fritters were light and airy, and the crunchy buffalo shrimp paired well with the tangy cocktail sauce. As Massachusetts natives, I'm usually highly skeptical of trying anything labeled a Maine lobster roll outside of New England, but the version on Islander did surprise me. It was full of tender chunks of lobster and came on a toasted split hot dog bun. Both of these eateries are in the adults-only tiki pool area aft on Deck 9. The third casual option is Farside Sushi on Deck 2. Within the Far Side of the World Lounge is a bar and sushi counter, which offers sushi and a few other Asian dishes at a la carte prices. With only 5 days though, I didn't get to try any of the sushi. Finally, the Margaritaville coffee shop is located in the back of the buffet. And as we mentioned earlier, unfortunately the Islander drink package does not cover the specialty coffees and drinks here, like most other cruise lines. Coffee shop also features upcharge menu items throughout the day. Among the offerings are breakfast pastries and some massive breakfast sandwiches, all-day pastries, as well as paninis and grilled sandwiches. They range in price from around $3 to $7 a piece. While a modest upcharge, items like these should be complimentary. Although I did enjoy the Muffin Man breakfast sandwich and the pastries we sampled there. The Fins Up crew keeps guests busy from morning until night. The cruise ship serves up a variety of family-friendly entertainment as well as some adult-only activities. The Fins Up crew were upbeat and visible around the ship at all times of the day. Compared to our last sailing with the cruise line, we did notice considerably more children and families on this cruise. According to the youth director on the ship, there were over 425 kids on board during our sailing. Luckily, the ship does have 3 themed youth areas for younger kids. Jollymon and Parakeets is forward on Deck 5. Tweens can make new friends and chill at the Hangout forward on Deck 3. And forward on Deck 2 is the Far Out Teens Lounge. This lounge is home to video games, a pool table, and staff-led events and activities. Throughout the ship, the cruise director ZJ and the rest of the activity staff made sure cruisers got involved and were having fun. The activities were pretty typical for any contemporary cruise ship, including deck parties, trivia sessions, arts and crafts, games and challenges, dance classes, dedicated karaoke bar, and even the cruise line's version of The Quest. A majority of these activities occurred in the Far Side of the World Lounge or the Coral Reef Lounge. tucked away forward on Deck 4 is quietly making noise, or is labeled on the deck plans QMN. This unique onboard experience is reserved for a lucky few each cruise and is invite only. Hosted by Kai, an enthusiastic member of the Fins Up crew, cruisers can learn a little bit more about the Margaritaville brand and the man behind it, Jimmy Buffett, during this intimate experience. With some exclusive cocktails and music memorabilia, like Jimmy's first guitar, this onboard speakeasy is a great secret addition to the ship. It was actually the perfect way to end our cruise. Likewise, at night, pretty much all the bars and lounges on the ship had live music or other nighttime activities to keep cruisers entertained. On Deck 1, the Coral Reef Lounge was a resident karaoke bar. This venue offered nightly sing-alongs with family and adult sessions most nights. It also hosted the adults-only Quest game show. On Deck 2, the Blaze Band rocked out the Hemisphere Dancer Bar, and DJ Cash spun late-night hits at the Hot 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 nightclub. Further, several solo artists rotated sets during the early and late evening at the Atrium's Flip Flop Bar. Among the musicians were guitarist Amon, or Pedro, and rock violinist Berlin. The production cast also put on short pop-up performances here several nights of the cruise. Occasionally, there was live music or evening trivia in the far side of the World Lounge. On Deck 3, Ellie tickled the ivories at the Bubbles Up Piano Bar, and the Latin duo Fama played in the Havana Daydreaming Bar, along with an occasional Name That Tune game. The Blaze Band and rock violinists were among our favorites. I was fond of the piano bar as well, but the quirky pianist didn't always jive with that night's crowd, so the atmosphere here was hit or miss. Up on the pool deck, the 6-string stage was home to various musical acts and events during the day. Along with pool games, one could jam out to the island vibes from Opal, a steel drummer, or enjoy the salty air sounds of the Prism Band. On the other end of the pool deck, the Landshark's pool screen played Jimmy Buffett concerts during the day. As we mentioned, this is a family-friendly ship with youth activity areas, as well as a sports deck and several fitness areas. And while they've been updated and branded, just need to keep in mind the ship is 25 years old, so the sports offerings aren't as extensive or as intricate as those on new ships like Carnival Jubilee or Icon of the Seas. But they're still usable and mostly functionable. Forward on Deck 11 is the Disendat sports deck. It's home to a small running track with approximately 16 laps equaling 1 mile. There's also a 9-hole mini golf course and an interesting cornhole course. Of course, it wouldn't be a new ship if there wasn't a pickleball court here too. We appreciated the attempt at branding the mini golf course, but half the course is located near the ship's vents, so your golf balls are blown all over the course. Also, for many, it's confusing where the course begins and ends, as there are 3 holes alongside the last 3 holes. The cornhole course is a unique family-friendly touch not found on most cruise ships. It features very on-brand elements, but we weren't sure how to score this game. Currently, guests must secure pickleball equipment, mini golf clubs, and golf balls from the towel stand down on Deck 9. I'm not sure what this says about the cruise line or its guests that were not trusted to have access to these necessities at the sports deck like every other cruise line. Additionally, aft on Deck 11 is the Caribbean Amphibian Playpad and Slide. This outdoor playground is designed for little kids, but it's in direct sunlight with no shade. So we never saw many junior cruisers testing out this addition. There's also a really small fitness center forward on Deck 5. It has some new equipment like treadmills, stationary bikes, and a small free weight section. But this small space is not on par with the modern gyms you find on most cruise ships. Finally, on Deck 9 is the Saint Somewhere Spa and Salon. This renovated space offers traditional massages and treatments, as well as hair, nail, and other beauty services. However, Margaritaville at Sea Islander does not have a thermal suite. Now that you know more about the ship, you can decide if a sailing on Margaritaville at Sea Islander is right for you. But if you need more suggestions, don't worry, you're in luck. Right here on YouTube, we actually have a look at the top 12 best new cruise ships of 2024. In that video, we compare some of the newest ships from cruise lines like Princess Cruises, Carnival Cruise Line, Royal Caribbean, and more. And after watching that video, we're sure you'll find the ideal ship for your vacation. That way, your next cruise is smooth sailing.